Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Here we go. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, festival and concert series edition today. We are with Ed Wolverton. He is with the Uptown Friday night concert series. Ed, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and career.
Sure. So I grew up in a university setting. My father was an administrator and teacher with various colleges across the country and universities as well. So I was born at Tufts University outside of Boston, quickly migrated from there to Florida State, to California, Berkeley, University of Illinois, Miami of Ohio, and then a small school in Cincinnati, Mount St. Joseph. And we ended up in Starkville, Mississippi at Mississippi State University, the other Bulldogs in the SEC. So that's the quick bio from growing up. My professional career, I started off in a smaller town in South Georgia named Americus, Georgia, which claim to fame there is that is the county seat for Plains, where Jimmy Carter just recently passed, and President Carter was from there. And was working as a mayor's assistant, and my first big project was to deal with a large building that had been donated to the city, and it was in the downtown area. Started doing that work and found I liked the downtown development work much more than the political stuff on the city side. So that set me off on a career path that's taken me to Savannah, Georgia, Greensboro, North Carolina, Wichita, Kansas, and ultimately here in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay, awesome. Let's jump into the concert series. Let's start with the when and the where.
Sure. So it's Friday nights in both the spring and the fall. We generally start at the second week of April. It'll run for 5 or 6 weeks. And then in the fall, we typically start at the week after Labor Day, and that'll run till mid-October. And in South Georgia, it gets blazing hot and humid during the summertime. So that's why we don't do the concerts in the summer. We want to do it in a time where it is more comfortable for participants to come out and enjoy. It's usually always on Broadway, which is our main thoroughfare in Uptown. We move it around to different blocks and try to use it as an economic development engine to help support the surrounding businesses and merchants. We actually pull a special permit from the state of Georgia that allows our businesses to sell beer and wine and cocktails and people to walk up and down the street with it. And so that allows them to make sales. And of course, as people come, they will buy food as well. And then it's just a great family-oriented atmosphere that has all these other activities around. It is a free concert, so there's no charge for people to attend. And Columbus is a town that loves to bring its lawn chairs, so folks will bring out lawn chairs and hang out in front of the stage each Friday night from about 7 to 10 in the evening.
Okay, perfect. 3 questions that help our listeners kind of fully embody what's going on there. So what does it look like? What does it smell like, meaning food? Food's important to our listeners. And what does it sound like? You've touched on the sounds quite a bit, but visually, what are they going to see? Where are they going to sit? What do they bring? Coolers, etc.
Great questions. Yeah, so we are very blessed with our urban environment. We have very wide streets along with a large median that runs in the middle of our streets along Broadway. So what we do is to set a stage, usually under one of the trees, and then that provides a great backdrop for people watching the music. And then people will close the streets, of course, and then people will fill in the area with lawn chairs. We do not allow coolers. Our permit does cover for people to bring drinks from outside of restaurants and bars, but we don't allow the coolers to come in for that. Many restaurants are nearby, with either on the block or in walking distance. Everything from pizza to Asian to Irish to burgers. All of that. Barbecue is another big thing here. So all of those things are available in a very short distance away. We tend to focus more on local acts, and we'll cross to country, Americana, and classic rock. We will occasionally bring in a touring tribute band. Those are always popular for lots of folks to come out and enjoy. And it's a very multi-generational show. You will see kids 5 years old, and you'll see grandmothers and grandfathers in their 70s or 80s. So it's a really good mix of folks, and it's just very comfortable, and folks enjoy it.
That's awesome. Now, did we skip food or did I just miss that? Am I blocking that out because we're getting close to lunchtime?
Yeah, so we do have a range of different kinds of restaurants that are fronting along Broadway. So depending on the block, the food mix may vary, but people can also just walk half a block away to pick up various other options. So pizza is really popular. We have sandwiches, burgers, barbecue. There's a couple of different Asian places. And there's also ice cream and cake shops that are in various blocks, so people can nab that as well.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, let's get into specifics here for you, Ed. Talk about your role in this endeavor and why this is important for you to keep it going.
Sure. So I'm the president of Uptown Columbus Incorporated. So we're an economic development group that is focused with generating interest and activity in our downtown setting. I've been in the role just over 3 years. And the concert series is something that I actually inherited, but have done these in other cities as well. So we are responsible for producing the entire show. So we have to get special permits from the city to have amplified sound. We have to hire police to provide security. I mentioned the permits we pulled to allow people to walk around with open containers. We provide trash services for people at the event, and we book the bands, and we get the stage there, and we get the portlets there. And so every aspect of this we are charged with implementing. Because we don't ticket the event, it's free for people to attend, and we don't sell the concessions. It actually is not a money generating opportunity for the organization. But it does bring people to the center city, which is a major goal of ours, and it spurs business for the surrounding restaurants and bars. So that is another critical mission for us. So although again, we're kind of as an organization losing money to it, it is a much beloved institution. People love coming out to these things, and it's really good for our merchants.
You mentioned that one word that just gives everybody shivers, and that's the word permit. And I know that every city is different, and sometimes those permits, it's a process. It's like a 13 department process for some cities. Some cities make it super easy, and yeah, you got to handle that. I'm glad that you've got somebody to do that for you guys and for your community and the musicians. Okay, most importantly, the biggest question today, it would be, how do people find out more information about your concert series?
They can visit our website at alwaysuptown.com, alwaysuptown.com, and it will have a layout of all the shows and all the dates. We are now in the process of booking our spring show, and then into the summertime, we'll start booking our fall shows, and that's a great way to keep up. You can also follow us on Facebook. That is probably an even better spot for people to find out more in-depth information. And so that is Uptown Columbus GA, and you can find us there on Facebook.
Perfect. All right, now a couple fun questions. These are just for me. I like to ask these because it just gives me a little inventory for a book I'm going to write someday. And I want to know what is the best concert you've ever seen your entire life?
Best concert I have personally seen would be Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band in 1981 at Mississippi State University.
Yeah.
I knew people that were involved with putting on the show. He was sick as a dog. They weren't sure he could even play. He was so sick. He had the cold or a flu. They had 2 different vaporizers going for him on backstage, and he came out and did a 3.5-hour show, and you never knew he was sick.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, vaporizers and honey is what I heard. That's perfect. Okay. Anything else you want to add about your concert series?
No, that's it. Again, free, and it's a great way to come out and see the community and be in a really cool downtown setting.
No, that's perfect. Ed, thanks so much for what you do, community and live music.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's always important for everybody.
You bet.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to.